Hi, in this video on my walking robot Mirft2, I want to focus on the gearing. Last time the conclusion was that the over movement was nice, although not quite consistent, and that I lack enough, or that I lack these gears. However, since I have enough of these gears, I have decided to replace these gears with these. So that is one thing. An advantage of replacing those gears is that the overall distance will be larger, so I won't collide with this and on this side as well. Apart from that, I want to check on the code again, because as I'll show, it moves, but it's not quite consistent. It gradually moves over and over, and that is not what it is supposed to do. But let me first replace the gears. I reconstructed the gearing, and as I said, I replaced the old gearing with those bigger gears. And just let me test this. And there I have to think about something. Yes, these knobs which I took for replacement are causing a problem, because this is obviously not the intention. So I have to replace them on both sides. And there is another point. Right now I would like to put the gears from the other side. However, right now the wiring is of course going to the controller, which is now lying adjacent. And the idea is to put the controller on top. And that has a consequence for the wiring, because that should be somewhere in the middle. So before constructing and adding the rest of the gearing, I should reconsider the construction and think how and where I put the controller, and that will probably somewhere at this level. But that's something to consider now. Because if I don't do that and I construct the rest of the gear here, then I should not have, then I have a problem when I relocate the controller, because of this and of this piece of wiring to the controller. So those are three issues I have to think about right now. But first of all, let me replace these axes, so that the leg can move freely, which is very important. While trying to figure out where the controller should be, I find that some wires are pretty tight, and if you look here, the question is not only that some wiring is pretty tight, but also how do I construct in a way that it can rest in here with all the gears that come here as well. So I figured that I might do another reconstruction and place the gears facing outside while they are now inside. And if so, then I can probably put the controller a lot lower and saving wire distance. So that is an option, and another option would be here, but that is the same as putting the controller on this side with the legs. That is no option, at least with the gears facing inside. So there's quite some thinking to do, and to give a better overview, let me put the cam a little bit higher. So with all the gears and with the controller, I think the position is, or the position in itself is okay, but the height of the controller should be really lower. So I have to reconstruct a lot before going on with the gears. And with the gearing placed facing outside and a little piece of support under it, it is clearly visible that this is a better way to put the controller. There needs a bit of thinking about the wiring, because of course it should stay out of the gears, but this looks way better already. And after I've figured out how to do that, I can go on with the gears to this side and the opposite side. However, there's another point that I should be able to easily remove the controller, and that is something that I should use these holes instead of under it, because with this support I can't remove it easily, and when I have it, let's say here, I can just do it like that and lift it. For example, need it when I need to check the wires or replace the wires or whatever. Anyway, that is something to think about it as well. But this is the first step in reconstructing, so let's go on. After our total reconstruction, you can see that I've put interface on top of it, and it can be quite easily removed as well, and that was entirely the purpose. Also, the rewiring, well, it's not technically rewiring because I didn't remove any wires, but I just put them in some wire guides so they don't obstruct with the gears. All gears are in place, more or less, so that should work. And for now it is the question how I will guide the legs, because this is of course not really the intention. So I should have some limiting construction here, as well as on the other side of course. So this will not be possible anymore. So for now let's run it again and see what happens. Let me put it like this, maybe the camera angle a little bit different so that the legs can be seen. And of course I'm still using my Android tablet, since I still am unable to connect to this controller using a laptop, unfortunately. It's a bit exotic. Oh, that is very little movement. This is obviously okay. Checking the other side is quite okay as well. Nothing is obstructing the gear, as at least that I can see it. So why is it moving that little? That is very little indeed. This is unexpected. This is quite loose, not very firm, but that should be no problem. So let's see again. Wow, I didn't expect this to happen. It kind of sounds like there is too much force needed to get it done. But then again, it all moves kind of easy. So what the cause of this is, I have no idea. I'll have to find out. But let's just do it one more time. After checking if everything fits, well, I do need some more parts for here and here to keep it to really keep the distance, like I've done here. Some distance parts, but it should move freely, and that is not happening. Kind of. It's all free. So unfortunately this final test that should get everything moving fails, but it is a nice reconstruction. So for now I can say thank you for watching and to be continued.